Welcome to You ARFID What You Eat, a channel where we deal with some of the issues that somebody with avoidant restrictive food intake disorder deals with on a daily basis. My name is Chris. Today we are going to be trying out a food, and that food is the olive.
If I never eat an olive, how will I ever know what they taste like?
So I've definitely never had an olive before, and I would put these pretty low on the list of things that I would be going out of my way to have. So join me as we embark on this quest to find out whether or not olives are actually not good, like I'm expecting them, or if they surprise me. Appearance-wise, I'm going to factor this in a little bit, but they came in a jar of water. When a food comes in a jar of water, I'm about as far away from excited as I can get. I hate wetness in food. I hate when food just soaks in water. I find that really gross. I can't handle that. So the fact that before I even take a bite and get a chance to appreciate these for what they are, I had to pull them out of a jar to get here, and it was wet and just yucky. Didn't like that. But that's just the packaging. Let's talk about the olives themselves here. Appearance-wise, these have a lot of problems going for them right away here. First and foremost is that this appears to be two separate foods in one. I've got the olive itself, the little green olive, and then in the middle there's this red piece of what looks like, I'm gonna guess, like tomato or pepper shoved in. And it can be bad enough to try one food, so the fact I'm gonna have to like technically try two to eat this is not great.
They've got this like seaweed green color going on, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not really a fan of green colored foods in general. There's a bit of yellow running through it, which I don't like. It appears to have a bit of bruising, so it's not consistent. They've got these cute little stars on the end of them all, but that's just to shove in the pepper, I think, or the tomato, whatever's in the middle here. They're nice and small at least, so I can control the portion size. But in general, yeah, these do not look appealing to me.
Smell-wise, oh, okay. They're like vinegary and like savory smelling. Okay, now I'm concerned. These are actually probably gonna taste really strong if they smell this strong, and that is horrifying. I don't know if they've just been sitting in this liquid for so long that they took on a smell, or these smell this way on their own, but I was not expecting these to smell so sharp and vinegary and savory. That was unexpected. Not looking forward to eating this at all. Yeah, oh goodness. Not cool. Bad smell. These smell bad. Texture-wise, they're firmer than I anticipated, actually. I kind of thought because these were soaking in, like, liquid, that they would kind of soften and just be kind of easy. These don't feel easy. These feel pretty tough, actually. They're squeezing out water as I, squeeze on them. Ugh, yuck. Which is to say, yeah, they're very wet. I don't like that. They do have the slightest bit of a shriveled quality, which makes me feel like the skin is not going to interact the same way the flesh does. That's not cool. I prefer when my textures are a singular texture, so that's not going to be fun. And that's not even getting into whatever the red thing in the middle is here, which feels like tomato, yeah, or a piece of pepper. Kind of gelatinous, but tough. This is all very wet, and very stinky wet. Very gross, vinegary, alcohol-y wet. Not liking this. Which brings me to the taste, and I'm going to try this in two separate ways. I'm going to try it with just a little bit of the olive on its own, and then I'm going to try it with whatever's happening in the middle there. Okay, so for the first bite, I'm just going to have a little bit of the olive itself, not the middle part, not the red thing, and I'm not excited. First bite, olive. Here we go. The flavor explodes. Oh, it's hanging around. It's not going away. I need some water. The first thing that you notice right away is that these are really salty. And then you get this kind of like velvety, savory flavor that is really strong. And the closest thing I can really compare this to tasting like is some sort of liquor. And I do not say this in a good way. A bit vinegary, but more alcohol-y, honestly. And it tastes gross. There's like a bit of a spiciness too. Part of me is actually wondering how much of the olive I'm tasting versus like whatever it was soaked in. Unless it was just soaked in water, and this is just what it tastes like. But either way, it is not a flavor I'm going for. That is gross. Yeah, very salty, very savory, kind of spicy, bit alcohol-y. Like a stinging flavor too. Like not hot, but like, I can still feel it. I can still feel that sensation in my throat. It is gross. Oh my goodness. Oh, that sucked. That was really strong. In the mouthfeel, actually, I don't want to say crunchy, because it wasn't crunchy, but it was crunchier than I thought it would be. Like, it had a firm feel to it, but I thought it would be a little squishier, a little meltier, and it was not. I also, thankfully, didn't really notice much of a difference between the skin and the flesh. It all just kind of busted up into the same, which is a good thing at least. Like, it wasn't a terrible mouthfeel, I have to be honest. It wasn't good either, but like, it really wasn't horrendous. But the taste did more than enough work on its own to make me want nothing to do with this. That sucked, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know that I want to have 3 bites of this. That was pretty gross. But what I do owe at the very least here is a bite of this with the tomato or pepper or whatever it is. I gotta know just because that's a part of this experience. Okay, I'm being informed by my partner that this is a pimento, which is a pepper, she says. Maybe that interacts better with the olive together. I guess we'll find out here. They're dripping in their flavor, the gross flavor. All right, for the ARFID community, so you don't have to. Here we go. Just do it. So strong. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, it's like a salty, like alcoholic flavor. It is really strange, actually. I'm having a really hard time comparing this to anything I've had before. What I can at least say is that it's so salty that it almost like overpowers itself to the point that this is disgusting and I want nothing to do with it. But all I can really taste almost is the saltiness. So at least if there's any other bad things happening here, they're getting overridden by it. Sort of, because then they do get through and it's like, oh my goodness, okay. I mentioned in the mouthfeel that it breaks up pretty homogenously and goes down pretty smooth as like a single object, thankfully. Although chewier than I anticipated. But there are actually little bits of the skin that are starting to get stuck in my mouth now, and that's gross. Yeah, again, still crunchy but squishy at the same time, but not the worst mouthfeel. It's okay, it's bearable. It is the taste that kills this thing. It is, oof. Absurdly potent. I'm just gonna be straight up with you folks. I don't want to have a third. I'm not doing that. 2 is plenty. I think my opinion is plenty formed right now, and I'm ready to speak on this thing as is. So overall thoughts. Olive. Appearance, I don't like the color. I don't like that it's multiple foods, like just shoved into each other. I find that gross. It's got this shriveled up kind of thing going on. It's got a lot of liquid coming off of it, which is just a reminder of the fact that this came in a jar of liquid, which I'm just not into. I find that really gross. The color changes when you open it up and it gets a little whiter on the inside. So it's not consistent. The one thing I will say that it has going for it well is that they are small, but in general, the appearance is not appealing. Smell, I gotta give it credit. It smells like it tastes. That is a smack in the face. It is a very strong smell, and it's quite a warning for what's to come. Very sharp, and again, almost like alcoholic. A little bit vinegary, maybe. Not a smell I like. Texture-wise, it's not terrible. It's like kind of shriveled, but still fairly firm. Except for the fact that it is wet. Extremely wet. I'm not enjoying that at all. And unfortunately, it is like wet and juicy. Like a bad combination. Then you get this other part in the middle here, and you touch that, and that's even gross too. I don't know. The texture on its own doesn't ruin this thing, but it doesn't uplift it either. The taste, though, whew, that's something. That is really strong. Super salty, extremely salty, kind of savory, kind of, yeah, alcohol-y, a little bit vinegary maybe, but just super potent. And for somebody who is sensitive to strong flavors, that is a smack in the face. That was way too much, and it won't go away. I can still taste this thing, clear as day. I'm gonna have to eat something else to dilute this because it is so powerful. And for me, it is disgusting. I do not like that taste at all. And the mouthfeel, yeah, it's funny enough, not the worst, not the end of the world. And it doesn't hang around too much. It goes down easy. It's kind of chewy, but not so chewy that it's a problem. And the skin doesn't separate too much. You get a little bit of separation from the flesh, but not too much. But that taste, whew, that taste is gross. It is really strong. That's disgusting. Not a fan. Would I eat olives again? Don't count on it, no. I don't see that happening. These are pretty gross. Again, maybe there's a context where people have these with their drinks and it works out well together because it's so alcohol-y tasting that maybe like the weird savory salts alcohol-y combo works with whatever you're drinking or something. I don't know. But even then, I doubt I would like that either. But here, on its own, oh, no. Really bad. Really gross. I still can't handle it. I can taste it right now. It tastes so gross. In general, I want nothing to do with this. And olives, the sooner I never eat you again, the better. So yeah, olives. But yeah, this is YouARFID What You Eat. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video. We have new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so if you liked what you saw, come back around and we'll have more ARFID content for you. Until next time, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully we'll catch you again soon. But until then, take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.